Hey everyone. So today we are going to talk about a very interesting topic, and is a very important topic to understand, especially for those who are looking for a career in product management. So the topic is making sense of various product titles and roles. Let's get started. I'm sure you have heard terms like product manager, technical product manager, consulting product manager, product owner, proxy product owner, and I'm sure there are many others that are floating in the market that I have not covered, and I'm sure that I have not also heard of. But there is a little bit of method to the madness. There is a little bit of logic behind how these terms evolved, and these terms will keep coming up, new ones will evolve, and let's go through some background of why various terms exist and what purpose they solve. As usual, I will use one of my blogs as an anchor for this discussion. So let me share my screen. I am approaching this from four angles, four ways how these terms have evolved. And the first one is product manager roles based on expertise. In my experience, in any product organization, there are four kind of product managers. There are the business product managers, technical product managers, the domain product managers, and generalist product managers. Let's see, let's double click and see what each one of them means. So domain product managers, these are the product managers who have a lot of domain expertise. So for example, if a product is being built in the domain of retail, they would understand retail a lot. And I found a very interesting job description for one such a role. This one was from a media organization. And if you look at it, this role talks about someone who is expert in account and user management, focuses on customer, ensuring that the customers can create and manage accounts, various things which are very specific to that domain. The ideal candidate has strong domain expertise in subscription, D2C business. So this is an area where deep knowledge about the domain is very critical for creating a product which helps out the businesses which are operating in that domain. The other one is business product managers. Now, these are the folks who are very good at the business model of that product, right? And I hope the nuance of the domain of the product and the business model of the product is kind of clear. Domain is the area of the industry or the industry that this product kind of addresses, and the business model is how the product is being built, what are the sales processes around it, and how the P&L of that product is being managed. Found a very good JD for such a role in a large IT manufacturing organization. If you look at it, they're asking for someone who can evangelize to internal teams, external partners, and customers. Right? Here the business model knowledge becomes very important. The process of selling the product, right? So the team that builds the product has to go and talk to internal sales team who then appreciate, have some feedback, and there's a build, measure, learn cycle. And then the sales team then take help of sales support team to create collaterals, get it into their rate cards, and then they go and start selling, right? So understanding this whole flow becomes very important. And this is something very common I have seen in enterprise product managers, right? So they're talking about other things, effective communication, objective to services leadership. So again, this is again talking about internal stakeholders, communication with the internal stakeholders, and presenting strategic business cases, product positioning, value propositions to internal and external stakeholders, right? This is the most common form of management expertise, product management expertise, which large enterprising creating suites of product or very complex product, which often needs solutioning to put together something that a customer can buy. Third one is a technical product manager. I believe I am a bit of this. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm a bit of the business product manager, because wherever I'm involved, uh, because of the nature of the organization I work for, I do end up working with large enterprises, and the products are of that nature where I need to understand these aspects very well. So, but my interest is I'm what a lot of people call post-technical. So I'm very much interested in technology, and I feel that my knowledge of technology helps envision and communicate the value prop of that product very well. So, I found a JD for such a role in an e-commerce organization, and they're asking for someone should write clear and effective product requirements, banking on technical abilities with experience working on AI based product, right? So here your technical knowledge becomes very important to be a very good product manager. And the fourth are the generalist product managers, right? This reminds me of story of from IDEO. So the founder of the IDEO tells this story, if I remember correctly. If I get some detail wrong, just take it as a Saturday evening mistake. So the story that the IDEO founder says that he was involved in creation of the panel or an airplane. So all of us have, most of us, I'm sure, have been on an airplane, and there are three vents for air to come down. There are buttons to push to call for attention of the cabin staff, and there are these signs that say what is the status, can you remove your seat belt, and now it's always on, no smoking, right? So he was part of that creation, and when he started IDEO and started going and talking to various companies, they say, hey, you know nothing about our world, you know nothing about our domain, you know nothing about our business model, so how can you help us build a product? And he used to say, I have a process, and we will follow that process, and we will collaborate with you, and awesome products will be formed. And that's how design thinking models have evolved, and those are the kind of models that help someone have a process of creating a product. The organization that I'm working with also has a very unique and very interesting, very useful process. So here, the idea is that the journalist product manager, knows how to work with all kind of teams, has sufficient knowledge about the domain, about the business model, about the technology, and brings the wealth of tools and experience in building products, following a process, following the process, and coming up with these awesome products. So these are the journalist product managers. The other way to look at these roles is product manager vis-a-vis product development. Now, this is where a lot of jobs in product management are. And the idea here is that there is a development team. Maybe it's within the organization. Maybe you're taking help of a consulting organization. You're taking help of an outsourcing organization. You have a vendor who's helping you build that. So in both scenarios, these development teams need a single point of contact to ask questions about the product's vision, maybe help with some prioritization, maybe bring some learning so it gets incorporated into the product strategy, and whatever are the changes in the product strategy because of the learnings and data analytics kind of get shared back with them, and they kind of implement in future roadmaps. So that single point of contact, the name product owner is gaining a lot of credence there. One thing, if you look at this, and something that I'm trying to point out is that not every product manager, a product owner may be a professional product manager. I've seen scenarios where the product owner was actually an architect, and there was some other product manager who was kind of helping with run the show, the mechanics of product management, the tasks of product management, but the vision of what was being built lay with this architect. So this architect was effectively playing the role of a product owner. And many times, though I've not directly worked in this scenario, but I've seen that a program manager or general manager kind of acts as a product owner, which all the development teams go and ask for prioritization guidance and showcase the output and outcomes to. This product owner formally, I think one of the definitions I found was on scrumguides.org. And that's, if you look at it, that formal in their, how they define it is, again, something very product development team centric, right? So they develop and explicitly communicate product goals, creating and communicating product backlogs, ordering the product backlog, and ensuring that product backlog is transparent, visible, and understood, especially by the product development teams, right? The other scenario how these roles have kind of evolved is based on the responsibilities that a product manager takes, right? And the most common scenario is outbound and inbound, right? The way the outbound product manager role is getting defined is that product manager who is working with rest of the world side of product. What that means is they're working with the sales, they're working with the marketing, they're working with the support. They are going and doing client demos. They are sitting in front of the client, gathering feedback about what they like about the product, what they don't like about the product. So they kind of outward to the organization which is building. They're outward looking, and that's where their area of attention is. And while they're doing all that, they're pairing with someone who is an inbound product manager. And in this case, what an inbound product manager may imply is that this is the person who is interacting with the development team, who is helping them with the backlogs, with the development backlog, kind of creating a relation between the product backlog and the development backlog, looking at the metrics, looking at the acceptance criterias, doing all the key testing that a product manager wants to test and should test. So that's based on this responsibility of, if you draw a line between that this is the boundary of the organization, everything that is related to the tasks and processes within the organization goes to the inbound product manager, and outside these organization kind of outside looking kind of goes to the outbound product manager. And one more interesting role has started coming up, proxy PO. See, the idea here is that this product owner is not full-time part of a development team, right? This product owner may be a product manager who has a lot of outbound tasks. Maybe is an architect who is also making sure that the architecture is right, the architecture adheres to the guidance of the enterprise, so on and so forth. That's a primary task. Or a general manager who's looking at P&L, program managers looking at hiring, staffing, office space, HR issues, expansive, right? So they are having full-time jobs. They're doing something else, and they are acting as a product owner for the development teams. And sometimes they just don't have the bandwidth. And they would appreciate if someone comes and pairs with them And for these development teams, then this person who's pairing with the product owner kind of becomes a proxy to this product owner. And many times I've seen that these product owners focus on their main roles, or maybe they focus on the outbound thing and they leave it up to this proxy product owner to take care of all the development responsibility. So in some way, the product owner becomes an outbound product manager, and the proxy product owner becomes an inbound product manager. That's a very common scenario. The fourth and final way of looking at the role of a product manager is based on employment, right? The reality today is that all organizations need help, especially if they're growing and especially if they're pivoting into something new. And consultants are a very effective way of getting that help. Vendors, software vendors to whom you outsource product development, they are very important partners. And in some scenarios, if there is a product manager who is coming from a partner, has built a lot of products in this domain. Remember, I was talking about the generalist product manager who brings the experience, the rich experience and expertise of the tools, how to build the processes of how to build the product. If they have been building a lot of products, let's say in the same domain, then they bring wealth of knowledge which an organization can benefit from. So they bring in this product manager as a consultant, maybe for a short period while there is some crisis, or maybe for a longer period till this product kind of becomes a BAU, business as usual status, or gather some kind of scale which the organization then can handle, and they don't need the specialist product manager, right? Totally depends upon the need and the experience and the expertise of this consultant product manager. So these product managers may, of course, get staffed fully as a product manager. So, they are playing the whole role. Or maybe they get paired with an existing product manager so as to take off some load, and they could divide the work themselves between by saying that, hey, you product manager, you take care of the outward world. Me as a consulting product manager, I'll look at the development teams and everything. Or it could be the other way. Hey, I understand this domain very well. I have a lot of industry contacts. So I will go and explore the possibilities, get the customer feedback, work with the sales team, support team, while you take care of the complexity of building this product. So these are the various roles. I know the conversation started with product manager, and now it has kind of become this complicated chart, but that's how it is, right? The product manager is such a role which has so many facets to it, so many outcomes expected across sizes of organization, across relationships between organizations, that all these terms do make sense and help those who are planning careers, those who are recruiting, or those who are going and seeking help in this area, say that, hey, I need this kind of expertise. I want a technical product manager, or I want an inbound product manager, I want an outbound product managers. So hopefully this was useful. What I have also done is I have created a Google slide version of this deck. So, you can download it. You can always, if you're logged in, you can always make a copy of it in your local Google account. Feel free to, customize it, and, you can kind of share it within your organization if you want to communicate. It's okay. Please go ahead and do it. The various images that I've used in the blog kind of come from here, and sometimes it helps with the narration. Product managers, 4 different kind, product owner, an interface between the development team and the products, thinkers. Some of them may be professional product owners, others may be specialists in this area, and that's why they are able to play the role of a product owner. And then these product owners may focus on outbound. They may pair with another product manager who is from a consulting organization, for example, and this product owner can act as a proxy, and thus they can help with the inbound product managers' roles and responsibilities. And finally, if a product manager has been fully staffed, they kind of take this role and take whatever responsibilities they have to. So I have also created this table. Hopefully this is useful. One thing that is extra in this table, other than the summary of what all I talked about, is where do we find these kind of roles typically? So generalist product managers who have a deep knowledge and experience in various tools and techniques of product management, they are typically found in small and medium-sized enterprises. Business product managers who have deep knowledge and experience in business methods and the mechanics of how the sales works, various departments who may or may not be heavily siloed, how they kind of come together. And this is very common in large enterprises. Domain ProMa's product managers, very detailed knowledge of the domain, end up in organizations which are like retail enterprises or hotels, those specific domain where the domain knowledge was very critical. Technical product managers have a deep knowledge and experience in technology, which is enabling the product, right? So as we saw in the previous example, they were looking for someone who has a lot of experience in computer vision, right? So these are the products, the organization that generally create products which are used by technologists. That's my experience. Consultant ProMas, consultant product managers, they have deep knowledge and experience in consulting. So they are not just product managers, they are consultants also. Typically tend to be generalists because being consultants, they get called by a variety of clients and for their knowledge of tools and experience in churning out different kind of products. I've seen that startups that are scaling up do this a lot. They request a lot of consultant product managers because typically in a small early days of a startup, the founder or a co-founder is the holder of the vision, and part of scaling up is the founder kind of transferring the vision to someone else in the team so they can do more things which are coming their way while they're scaling. And then sometimes they call in a consultant product manager so that they don't have to go and transfer techniques and tools and everything, and they don't have, probably the founder does not have that kind of knowledge also because scaling is a totally different world. So they bring in a lot of consultants. Organizations which are going through transformation, they have a legacy system and they're trying to build something new. And so the people who are product managers of the legacy system, they understand why and how of that. But now there's a whole reset of thinking, and legacy modernization is not just about the technology. You're not just going from mainframes to cloud. You're not just going from some old tool chain to a new tool chain, but you're also transforming the data, how you're also transforming the processes, you're also transforming the operations on top of that product, right? So you need a professional who has that kind of experience in the transformation. And I've seen a couple of times in the need of crisis, the product is getting hit by competition. The product hasn't evolved, and there's a new competition who's kind of changing the game. this is also where I've seen a lot of organizations go seek out consultants who are product managers, right? Program managers, general managers. This is in a traditional non-digital organization. I've seen that's where these kind of roles play the role of product owner. Technical architect, again, if the product is very technical and the organization is transforming, that's where I've seen these architects who are reimagining the whole architecture. They become product managers because um, it's not, as I said, right, it's not just the technology, it's the whole architecture, the processes, how data is getting modeled, how data was getting governed. A lot of these layers are getting into picture, and they tend to be the right set of folks to play the role. And the presentation that I shared, there's a PDF version, there's a Google slide version of it. Feel free to edit it, share it with your colleagues. In conclusion, I would love to hear what role among all of these you are playing. Maybe it's there, maybe it's not there, maybe it's there with a different name. Would love to hear all that. So do discuss this topic on your favorite social media. LinkedIn, if you're having this discussion on LinkedIn, please feel free to tag me. I would love to hear and join the discussion. You can leave comments on the YouTube. Do comment, like, and subscribe to this channel. These actions go a long way in encouraging the channel in producing more content. That's all for today. Thank you. Bye-bye, folks.